All right, our next guest shares great tips that can help you navigate through your money portfolio. Bryan is back with us this morning. Today's topic deals with how the upcoming presidential election could affect your bottom line. Good to see you, girl. All right, we got to be real careful now because we're talking politics. And I think a lot of folks have come to the realization, whether they like it or not, somebody's going to win.
Oh, very good point.
You
are a genius.
One of those people is going to win, and we got to deal with it. So, step one: how do we deal with this?
How do we avoid politicizing our financial decisions right now?
One way or the other.
The evidence shows, Bill, that whoever is in the White House has very little impact on your money. So we really, when we look at it historically, over the years, the stock market has gone higher regardless of, over time, regardless of who is in the market. So instead, we really should be focusing on what is going on historically. Now, we're in an economic upturn. The average economic upturn lasts generally about 40 weeks. We have been in an economic upturn since 2009, so that's over 80 weeks of economic upturn.
So are you telling me get ready? Here it comes.
Regardless of who is in the stock market, everybody at home needs to be structuring an investment portfolio that is poised for a market downturn, according to your investment goals, your risk tolerance.
Okay. All right. So the next one, the question I have here: keep your emotions in check.
That's right.
And is this to everybody that says, if this candidate wins, I'm going to Canada, or if this candidate wins, I'm going to Canada?
Yeah.
Calm down, everybody.
Well, there was a study done on this, actually, and it was over 60,000 investors were studied over a 10-year period, and they found that people whose party they saw was leading, was in charge, they had more confidence. They were taking more risk as market players. They found that people whose party that they selected was not in the White House, they were timid, they were making a lot more changes, they were uncomfortable and impatient, which led to them underperforming than when they compared them to times where whom they liked was actually in the stock market, was in the White House. So they became emotionally involved and made some bad emotional choices and traded a little bit too often.
Either that or they picked the wrong party. One of these.
You're such a smart
I didn't say
aleck.
it, no. Back to her.
That's right. But the bottom line, again, regardless of who is in the White House, given time, the market will perform for you. Since the 1920s, if you look at the numbers, the S&P has 2 out of 3 times, for over 2/3, over, the majority of the time, has given us a better performance year to year. Okay. So the majority of the time, the market is moving faster and moving upward, and it's not based on who is in the White House, because over that time period, we've had about, 8 Republicans, 7 Democrats.
Okay.
So,
all right. So the sky is not falling, and we don't have to worry about our worst fears coming true.
And your worst fears can come true if you don't, you don't brace yourself.
Okay.
You don't realize that we have been going through some really, really good times for a long time.
So where is the safety valve? How do we do that? Let's get to that point.
Yes. So a safety valve is a valve, not a faucet. So what happens after there's a valve is something you can turn off, or you can set up, or you can limit. So what we want to do here is your portfolio that you have today, we're assuming that it's right where you want to be based on your risk tolerance, based on your financial goals. So after the election, that's when people really get afraid if their person didn't win. So we want you now to set up your portfolio correctly, and then set up a valve, a safety valve that say, after the election, regardless of what happens, I'm not going to trade more than the percentage based on your goals. But set up goals and limits for yourself now so that your emotions don't get involved so much. Emotional investing, take your heart out of your investments at this time.
I vote for her.
Aww.
Thanks to our friend Bryan. And JB offers free money seminars every Wednesday at noon, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. in her office in Glen Allen. However, pre-registration is required, so we know who's coming. Just visit us online at WTVR.com.